he will just be as aggressive as he physically can until he's taken you down. So this is going to be hyper defensive versus hyper aggressive.
So the lineup selection, what we expected. I mean, we thoroughly expected to see this. People kind of sticking with what they know best. I think Ranger on dooi in particular has been quite an interesting champion for me because of just how many really good dire orbs he's been able to land. And I think if you're going to play Ranger at the absolute highest level, landing those dire orb telefrags it's a must. It's a necessity at the highest level to make sure, right, if I've got this tool that can just delete anyone in the game regardless of health and armor, it's something you need to be able to land consistently to warrant picking that champion.
The few times we've actually seen his Ranger, though, like, because to be completely honest, we've not really seen it that much at all. It's kind of been, he'll go with, seemingly Sorlag first. When that doesn't work, he'll go Anarchy, and then he'll go Ranger. And we haven't really seen him get taken down to his third champion too much.
It's almost like Ranger is like his comeback champion, maybe, in that essence.
But when we do see it, you are correct. You know, we're seeing a lot of nice dire orbs. It has that low cooldown, so even if you do miss, it doesn't really matter too much. You have the opportunity and the resources to get it back again, especially if you're getting some hourglass, stuff like that. But we are going to be going into the match immediately now. The warm-up phase is over, as far as I'm aware. Yes,
Here we go.
It's finished now, so we'll be going into this game, and this is going to be winner of the series. We'll make it to Dreamhack Winter, where they'll be playing that 150k prize pot for dooi.
But I feel like Blood Covenant, very excited to see how these players handle this map. Doi's already shown, obviously Maestro Gaming's dooi has shown us that his movement is very dangerous, but so is his accuracy, so is his aim. Blood Covenant, if you have good movement and accuracy, this is the map for you.
Right, but this first frag is going to be very important. Like we said before, dooi is very aggressive. If he can take the fight, he will, especially if he has that champion lead. He will just lay that pressure on super thick. And VDMK, when he gets that lead today, has been prone to getting the lead and then sitting on it and being hyper defensive. So I think this first frag is going to be crucial for both of these players, being able to enforce what they want to do. We saw before, whenever VDMK wasn't playing from the back foot, he was very dominant, right? He was controlling the map in such a way that he was very much controlling the pace of the game. Obviously, if dooi drops first, it'd be even easier for him to enforce that.
But the one thing we had not seen consistently was how VDMK played on the back foot. When the pressure was on, how did he rise to the occasion? I think we're likely to see that a little bit with dooi. However, scoring that first frag means that he's now got that lead.
He actually lost very little health in the process there too. Mega health's getting picked up by dooi, but he's still here. Probably not going to fight until he gets some weapons. We know he only just respawned, so near the rail. He's going to have the rail, I assume, at the very least. Maybe a rail and a machine gun, but I doubt he's got much more than that at the moment. Oh no, he actually managed to find himself an LG.
A little bit timid, yeah.
Port of call, right? Make sure you have that at the very least.
I mean, VDMK could have potentially gone through that teleporter to have taken the fight, but again, that would have been risky. Sort of dedicating to the fight almost. There wouldn't have been much room to escape if it didn't quite go to plan.
Another mega health secured by dooi. He also got the heavy armor, so he has those timers on lock. So if VDMK does.
Yeah, it's always one of the most important things. If you're not aware of actually when a pickup gets collected, you're actually not going to have the timer down. If your opponent does, they're going to almost have the rhythm of the map over you.
Oh wow, doi's point blank, but hit the roof.
No acid connects at all.
Yeah, actually quite surprised none of it hit whatsoever. I thought for sure he was going to get hit by sort of the lingering puddle, but I guess not. He is being aggressed though, and that's going to be it. doi's going to take that first frag down, and now the Sorlag is gone. VDMK onto this Ranger instead. And the armor secured too. This is immediately much better situation for dooi.
Now, you said we haven't seen much of doi's Ranger. We've seen even less of VDMK's Ranger.
Indeed, but we'll see it now. Almost on the 3-minute marker. And again, a big thing here is doi's control over the Mega and the Heavy. I mean, really, just him constantly having access to both. He's just so much more tanky than he normally would be in all of these fights. Injection is going to be back up now as well. You see dooi waiting for him at certain key power-ups. He's really trying to bait him in here.
He's laying the trap. Oh, we caught sight of him, but actually turned around at the last minute. A little bit preemptive on that rail, I feel. It is allowing dooi to just have free reign over these very important pickups. I find VDMK is currently content letting him do it for now, but as these rails add up. Yeah, trying to beat him towards the heavy again. He's nowhere to be found. Definitely feels like a game of cat and mouse right now.
It's a game of control. Like right now, it's kind of hard to tell what really is going through the players' minds, because dooi is clearly content just denying these important pickups. And now we find ourselves at the 1 minute warning. Do you think dooi is maybe just stalling for time?
All tries to bet everything on the telefrag, but he doesn't quite manage to get it. The health will remain even for now, but
Heavy armor going to be up in a few seconds. It's it as well.
It just comes back to control. It is coming down to the fact that dooi is collecting every single one of these important pickups. Oh, and he cuts him off from behind! He tries to answer back with the Dire Orb, but it doesn't quite work out. And one more time, dooi with the mega health.
This is a good situation for him to be in, though. 20 seconds left. dooi just has to survive for 20 seconds and he'll take his first round. It's like a flipped on its head thing. This is kind of what VDMK was going for in the majority of his games earlier on.
The thing is, VDMK really is.
Oh wow,
I mean,
he hit that.
I don't even know how that rail connected. But 5 seconds left. He has the champion lead. There you go, pops the injection, tries to juke a little tiny bit because there was a tiny possibility maybe he could have got a second rail, but that 5-minute timer will indeed be up. But I feel like in that one round, VDMK was betting everything on those Dire Orbs. Like he was looking in those close.
Like they were super close. I'm quite surprised not one of them connected.
Well, they did the initial damage, but he couldn't get the telefrag right. So he did the damage of the orb itself, but he didn't do the damage, you know, the high damage of the insta-kill telefrag.
So dooi already just going straight for these pickups. Oh, missed heavy armor ever so slightly. All right, so that's trading out Mega for heavy, but he got heavy armor along with the rocket launcher, rail, and the lightning gun. This is best case scenario. dooi is ready to fight. He's going to see that Mega health's gone too, so he's going to know that VDMK has been around.
He hasn't got the timer immediately. He'll have sort of like a rough idea, I'm sure.
Heavy armor going to be up in a few seconds, though. Looks like VDMK is going to beat him to the punch. Jump down. That's 2 back-to-back. He jumped down. This could be huge. VDMK's picked up the armor, but 2 rails.
dooi's actually content. Not pushing too heavily in that, just taking the Mega instead. Maintaining high ground. That's one thing dooi's been doing consistently since the series began. Is just making sure he's constantly up here. And if he wants to go down, and he did a little bit more with Anarchy, but just sort of, you know, making a few rounds underneath, just in case he catches VDMK off guard. He's been so consistently catching him off guard at close range and just meeting him head on.
Back again, dooi's just gone back to the style of just complete control over power-ups. Pickups, I should say. He's being a lot more careful than perhaps we maybe expected. But that's a lot of damage out of nowhere. This explosive 1v1.
Oh,
Yeah, dooi has to get out of that one. Definitely not winning that fight.
yeah, he had the teleporter behind his back. So that's going to be a nice little insurance policy, but he gets met face first. VDMK barely survives, but he survives nonetheless.
With plenty of armor and a lot of health pickups at his disposal too.
It definitely means dooi is going to struggle to a degree to head him off, but the rockets don't quite work out. But that's what dooi has been doing a lot of today.
But that's been one of the most successful strategies, period, at the moment. Not even just through dooi, is if you lose that first fight closely, get the nearest weapon you can that is like good for just finishing someone off, which is usually the LG if you're close enough, and then just run straight to them, like immediately to where you just died, and catch them before they can stock up again.
And if there's one champion in the game that's going to be able to gain a speed boost instantly and go wherever they want to be at any given moment, it's going to be Anarchy.
And it's working out. I mean, dooi, he momentarily lost momentum and then immediately gained it back again, or at the very least, even things back. Oh, the Dire Orb didn't quite hit this time.
The danger is that he's lost that escape. It doesn't really matter too much at the moment because you know dooi does not want to overextend. Not with 75 health and no armor. Oh, see how the speed of which Anarchy is able to move.
Oh, that was a great rocket from VDMK.
That was a lovely shot. Oh, tried to get another one. That slight delay just to make sure the rocket misses.
Psychic rockets.
Face first, tries to head him off with the Dire Orb. There are some very interesting Dire Orbs coming out of VDMK. Like, he is all or nothing. He is dedicating 100% into these plays. The danger is he's now got no escape. There is nowhere to run. He used the Dire Orb to dedicate to potentially getting the damage or the insta-kill, but the second Dooi headed him off with more damage, there was nowhere to go when things went bad.
Dooi is playing at 100 miles an hour right now. Like, just the speed in which he's taking these fights is incredible, and I think that's why Anarchy seems to be a very good fit for him. He's running at the moment.
If he's going that fast, I mean, it's going to be hard to rail, it's going to be hard to rocket. Caught in the middle of the air, gets the Mega. Wants to use the Ghost Walk, but is he going to stay and fight? Looks like he's going to stick to it, but the injection being available and the armor means that Dooi is still going to be relatively annoying with this stack.
Heavy armor going to be up in a few seconds. So we see VDMK try and contest. He's trying to get a shot. Oh, I think waited a little bit too long.
Well, so much has happened in this round. You know, we can't forget the 1-minute warning. It's taken place, 50 seconds on the clock. And for another time, Dooi has the advantage.
It's just round 2, considering how much has happened and how long it's been. Right? These are 2 near enough 5-minute rounds. Does Dooi just play the clock for 40 seconds, or does he try and get this final frag?
Well, with 35 seconds, no reason to overextend. If you have an advantage, maintain it.
Especially when he's been doing such a good job as it is. He's up there. Ooh, did eat your rail. Has to be careful now.
Actually, sort of trying to get some data on that heavy armor, put himself in harm's way a little bit. Is it going to be significant? That's what you wonder. 15 seconds left. Tries to go for the rail, fails to make it connect. VDMK got to get something happening, but with an injection as well. This is going to be so hard.
Looks like the tactic of running away at top speed this time. He's not sure of hitting behind the wall. He is just looking at as fast as he can, but he has been hit. No, ever so slightly. Does get away. And already this has been a 10-minute map, but only 2 rounds down. But both of them have gone towards Dooi. You can imagine VDMK might be getting a little bit frustrated right now at this.
Well, if he gets frustrated, then it could potentially show in his gameplay. Now, we mentioned we haven't seen him massively on the back foot before, because he did look really strong in our previous match today. But I feel like it's just the movement from Dooi. He's just making sure that if he has a lead, he is as hard to pin down as possible. You know, getting him with those rails, hitting him with those rockets around the corner. He's always airborne. It's going to be so difficult to catch him. I feel like Dooi is content playing a very assertive game. Like, he sort of just patrols the entire map. He's not really content just seizing Mega and Heavy and then sort of just keeping control of the high ground. Like, he seems to patrol the entire map with the stack he's gained. And if a fight happens in close quarters, he's now way more healthy than you are.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Both players barely alive after that one, though. I mean, I've got to say, Dooi, he's forcing these fights on the VDMK, but when he's on Sorlag, VDMK looks really comfortable in these forced engagements. So that's literally 3 for 3 rounds VDMK has managed to win that Sorlag 1v1. And that's 3 times that Dooi forced that fight to happen.
I can only assume Dooi was expecting maybe a rocket from somewhere else, and he bets the farm on a telefrag of his own.
I love that from VDMK. Both times he lost Sorlag immediately because Dooi, he ran straight for LG and then went straight for VDMK. So this time, VDMK, after getting rid of that first Sorlag, he went straight to LG and waited in the corner. Dooi, he popped up just as he knew he would.
Right on time.
Immediately. I think for that reason alone, this might be a round win for VDMK, because that one read has just got him so much momentum.
This does mean that VDMK is going to be able to, if he wants to, do essentially what Dooi did to him. Difficult to be doing it against an Anarchy when you are quite weak. He's likely to lose the Sorlag, but I think he's going to be accepting that. Who does he take next?
I mean, heavy armor's up. Mega health is going to be up in a few seconds too. This might be a good turnaround time for Dooi.
I mean, all Dooi needs is control once. All he needs to do is control Mega and Heavy one single time and then use that stack to once more patrol the map the way he has been doing the entire map. And if he catches him off guard, now he knows the Ghost Walk's down too. All he needs is one good fight and he's going to turn the tide. And we've seen what his Anarchy can do.
We have plenty of time left on the clock too. Oh, misses a shot. So gives him that data. DMK knowing he's down here on the bottom half, or bottom side, I should say.
I think a big part of why Dooi's rails have been so on point is it looks like there's a heavy element of prediction as well, where he's ready for them to be in a location, and when he sees them, you know, to kind of almost confirm his suspicions, he's immediately ready for that click, you know, for that fire. His knowledge of where the opponent is likely to be is very, very impressive. I feel like the rail was just the reward for the good read, right?
Still though, VDMK does have the champion lead, for maybe the first time in the game. And look, he's sitting back as far as possible. He is playing that defensive game. He's been on that staircase for about 30 seconds.
He did this on Sarnath too. Like, he was content spending like a minute and a half, 2 minutes just sitting in one point and just not moving. Let the clock go.
If dooi can take him out before, like if he's trying to play that defensive style, and he can take him out, that's going to be a big problem for him because he's going to have all the momentum.
There's the Ghost Walk. Where does he think he's going to go?
No, he used it to run away, but doi's going to know it's down.
Ooh, caught him on the bridge. The danger is if VDMK tries to prevent dooi from taking, if he tries to prevent him from taking one of these items, he puts himself at risk of a high-speed Anarchy with good rail aim, with good rockets. Tries to fight, takes a huge chunk of damage. Just look at the speed at which dooi is able to continue this Anarchy. Oh, wow.
It's hard to believe that he's able to keep up with his own aim. I mean, look how fast he's moving.
Yep, he is playing this game at 1,000 miles an hour.
Gets the heavy armor too. Timing on point. No armor on the side of VDMK though.
I mean, VDMK is in a lot of trouble. If he catches Anarchy now, he is nowhere near healthy enough.
The problem is, like dooi, he needs to find him sooner rather than later. The 1 minute warning's popped.
Ghost Walk is down for 15 more seconds. Could be less if he finds some of those hourglasses. But time is not his friend. He needs to find him. VDMK is going to make that easier said than done. I mean, it's kind of weird, really, just seeing just how close he is. But because he's making no noise, there's no way dooi can know where he's going to be. Even if it looks like he's right next to it, he can't see it. He's caught sight of him. Goes in for a rail, but it doesn't connect.
He has to get him soon. The Ghost Walk is popped.
Expecting him to double back.
Yep, he needs to find VDMK now.
15 seconds. He needs to find him right now, but I'm not sure if he has time. He's checking everywhere, but there's just nowhere to be found. VDMK is likely to take this round, and I think it's going to be so. Corman go, no, he caught the wall. That's unfortunate. I mean, it was probably over anyway, but that one little slip at the end is guaranteed.
That's what we said, right? That was the first time in the entire series that VDMK was up on Champions, and he was up on Champions at 1 minute 30. And from 1 minute 30 until 5 minutes, he played that distance game.
He pretty much hid for 4 minutes, but it worked.
But it worked against a player as aggressive as dooi, that really wants to just seek you out with his speed or with his soul lag, whatever it is he's playing. He will actively look for you constantly. And the fact that VDMK was able to avoid him for that long, that couldn't have been easy.
The fact you're able to evade an Anarchy that is going that fast at all times in itself is a great skill. And it takes a massive amount of, not just patience, but discipline, I think, to just stay, you know, be confident with your hiding. Unfortunately, dooi taking a ton of rails. The second VDMK gets that one lead, you know, it's likely that he's going to adapt that super defensive style.
It does mean that first fight is crucial, because if you lose your character before he loses his, he again opens up that possibility for that defensive style to come through, and it has worked time after time after time. Even though dooi is currently in the lead in rounds, if VDMK can get this next one, I mean, this has been a long map. This has actually been 3 timeouts. So it's been at least 15 minutes at least by itself, and we're potentially halfway through this one.
That's definitely one way to look at it. These have been some hard-fought maps.
But imagine it's a test of that endurance. You know, VDMK has willingly, every time, put it down to that timer. So VDMK is clearly happy to play as long as it takes. Whereas dooi has been very aggressive. Do you think there's a chance that dooi maybe will burn out after a while?
It always comes down to player composure, doesn't it? I mean, there's always the possibility that one of these two players was going to get maybe a bit more frustrated, maybe a bit fatigued, mentally fatigued.
Also
nice
catch. The exact same strategy there from VDMK. Won the first 1v1, immediately went to the lightning gun and waited for dooi. And twice in a row, dooi appeared. And might lose it, and has lost his champion for him. dooi made the same mistake 2 rounds in a row, and VDMK is there, ready and waiting.
The question's going to be, if this goes down to another round, will that exact same thing happen? You know, is dooi likely to now expect? Is the ball now going to be in VDMK's court to potentially change up how he handles the next spawn? Or is that going to work every single time? Who knows? Oh, there's a rail.
Out though. Regardless what happens.
Even though that rail missed, he can still be aggressive here. He's got so much more health and armor, and I think he's looking to keep that control. There we go. Dooi tries to dedicate to a telefrag, doesn't work out, he's stuck in the air, but I feel like both of these guys have dedicated heavily into those telefrags, and it hasn't really worked at all this map. But you can understand why they're going for it.
Not yet, but all it takes is that one time, right? That's the beauty of the telefrag. Because the Dire Orb has such a short cooldown, you can miss it as many times as you want, but all it takes is that one hit to do its insta-kill properties, right? Well, what was it, like a flat 10,000 damage? It's basically insta-kill. Nothing's going to survive that.
I feel like if Sorlag spawns anywhere near the LG, that's a start you can be happy with.
Speaking of start though, Dooi went in for the...
oh no, 100 damage! That undid so much of the stack that Dooi just built up at the start of that round.
Another one too, that's 2 directs. That's bad news for Dooi.
That was an insane turnaround. That's likely to be 1 dead Dooi.
Now, does VDMK, he's clearly waiting for the armor here.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's not able to go for the same start. I mean, there's no way he can at all. He's nowhere near close enough.
No, actually, it looks like Dooi didn't go straight for the lightning gun this time. He actually went for the rocket first.
Well, I mean, fool me once, right?
Twice. That would have been a third time.
Is it fool me twice?
Fool me,
it's been a long day. I can't remember such terms.
I know the saying, but it stops at fool me twice. But in reality, in this situation, it should go up to fool me 3 times.
Potentially. Deary me, but just these rockets that VDMK has been landing. It's been 2 100s and 190.
But he is quite low. Dooi hasn't been able to get the quite same mileage out of the rail that he was earlier on, it seems. And here we go again, back to this distance game. VDMK, he does have the lead. I suppose in his mind, he's got that 3.5 minutes left before winning the map. He's got to do is survive.
I mean, we did just see VDMK hide for 4 minutes successfully.
But then it's not like that's the only way he wants to win. Then in the next round, he immediately saw an opportunity to kill VDMK for putting himself out of position and punished him immediately. Took the round on that alone. Like it's clearly a game plan. It's not just a a one-trick thing.
Oh yeah, of course.
VDMK, it's a game plan he's trying to enforce, but he will be open to whatever he needs to do in the time as well, and it clearly works. And that's why he's here, right? This is the winner's side finals, effectively. The winner of this is going to go to Dreamhack Winter, play for the 150k pot, and this is the game style that's working at the moment.
You know, both these players, that comfort zone would be nice and comfortable for them. Qualify now, so you haven't got to play any more matches.
Did you just say the comfort zone will be nice and comfortable?
I'm pretty sure I did. I've already forgotten.
I haven't. I never will.
That's just your thing, isn't it?
Of course. Oh, that rail's going to hit from the corner, though. At this point, it's kind of just chipping down a brick wall. All that armor and health. I mean, this is 2 champions, right? They're both playing the same. It's super tanky.
But VDMK has been hitting so many rails, but just look at Dooi's stack. You would never guess that he is eating rails.
If he has him point blank, if Dooi dies here, he doesn't. He manages to survive. So that's going to be evened out. And again, what is the final round of this first map has immediately flipped out. Now it's going to be evened out. VDMK can no longer sit around and wait for a timeout because timeout won't do anything. They have the same amount. Unfortunately, it's going to be a Ranger versus Sorlag. He does manage to get some momentum here. Dooi losing a lot of health. Dire Orb.
But he was super healthy. So even though he got caught on the... Ooh, still airborne. Yeah, jumping over there, massively risky. Tries to double back. I mean, that was the good choice. Dedicating towards Mega would have been guaranteed death. There was no way VDMK was not going to let him get away with that one.
Big damage on that rocket, though, but heavy armor. Going to bring himself back into things. Wow, VDMK has just been on point with these shots so far. Very impressive stuff.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit hesitant. I actually quite like that delay. Don't use the jump pad immediately to convince them that either you're going to be somewhere else or that they can maybe go for heavy armor. That one little bit of hesitation was enough to just make sure that VDMK was not going to bully him near that Mega.
Still though, Dooi does have the Mega and heavy control.
Oh, wow. There. So surprised to see him miss that one.
There's 2. Third connects though. Has the heavy armor. Oh, trying to flick up to it ever so slightly missed. But he knows the Dire Orb is down. He has acid breath. If he can get in, he can do a lot of damage here.
He's got a good read on him. Tried to double back. Oh, there's the rail. I mean, he can be aggressive here. He can finish this. There goes the Ranger. He needs one more frag. VDMK is going to be out of this map. 1 map down.
The thing is, time is on his side. Does VDMK even have time to be lame here? And sit back for that time? I don't think he's got the time. No, it isn't going to work. And that's going to be it. Dooi takes that first map in a very hard-fought victory from the side of both of them. I mean, that was an endurance, and that was just 1 map. We have at least 1 more to go, maybe even 2.
Now, if every map goes as long as that one did, we're in for a long one. Because
I think that will be dependent on who is more comfortable playing in those situations, right? Because Quake matches, they can be quite, I suppose, sporadic in a sense that some of them can, you might have a 5-minute match where it's just frag constantly from start to finish. Or you might have a map like that, which ends up taking half an hour for just the one map. Now, as a player, you need to be able to accept that, okay, I might not always be in control of how long these maps take. You have to be ready to play for X amount of time, right? Up to a maximum of how long a game can physically go on for. But it takes a certain amount of composure and, like you said, right, discipline to be able to play for that kind of extended period of time. Because even though you might be the most comfortable playing if a round has gone by in a few minutes' time and that's it, the map's done in like 5-10 minutes, you won't always be able to do that. So I think I'm interested to see how the players are affected if we do find ourselves going down to every map. If we go down to 3 maps and they all take that amount of time, we're going to have to see who is most comfortable playing in that sort of setting.
So the next map is going to be Blood Run. So this would be the next choice. And I feel like on the subject of what you just talked about, this time, like right now, where the break is happening from map to map and the players are rejoining the match, this will inadvertently be time for players to think about what they just saw or think about what they just played. In some ways, for really extended prolonged series like the one we just had, which was a super, super long map, number 1, this preparation time might be the most important time for the players during the series, because now they have the time to calculate and plan ahead and reflect on the match they just played. What are my adaptations here? What do I do differently? If I lost, how do I win? If I won the last map, what can I sort of do to make sure I just continue that snowball effect?
Still, though, VDMK going in for Galena this time. So Galena
is Blood Run after all.
On the board. But yeah, Galena on Blood Run, it's not too surprising, but it's nice to see, I think, at the very least. Blood Run, we've actually seen a lot today. Dooi looked incredible on this map before, so not at all surprised to see him sort of sticking with his guns here, even though this map would have been VDMK's choice. But still, this could be the last map. This could be map 2 of 3. We'll find out very soon as we're now in the warm-up phase to find out what's going to happen. But again, just to reiterate, this is a qualifying game for Dreamhack Winter in Sweden, which is going to be for that 150k pot. For Duel alone, there will be Sacrifice too. This is just Duel today. We'll go to Sacrifice tomorrow, so make sure you guys are tuning in again tomorrow if you want to see how Sacrifice pans out. But for today, we have a few matches left to go. This is for Duel, and this is for NA qualifying from the winner's side.
And we have 10 seconds left in this warm-up. Don't forget, guys, after this, we have the last EU qualifying match of the day as well to find out who's going to qualify, obviously from an EU side, so we still have matches to go. But for now, it's going to be NA versus NA. We're going to see who's going to take it between Maestro, Dooi, and VDMK. I feel like the Sorlag mirror match, with these two guys, has actually been the least prominent mirror match that we've seen all day. It has heavily come down to other champions.
I definitely agree with that so far to an extent. I mean, it definitely hasn't been quite...
I mean, there's clearly time for change. This map has just begun.
Decisive for now, but there's a nice combo follow-up. But VDMK very low here, as is Dooi. VDMK is going to be able to get that space and actually top himself up a lot, whereas Dooi went for the mega health instead.
Oh, not a huge amount of damage. He does get a direct. May have saved him, and he gets a second. 2 fantastic rockets keeping him in the fight. I mean, that's just a testament to, even if it looks bleak, and it looks like death may be guaranteed because it is how much LG you're taking. 2 good rockets of max damage, and that's all you need.
It was a nice prediction, for sure. I can't really blame Dooi for sitting there. He had loads of armor, but no health, so he definitely would have died on one more hit, but was still able to push it in. And again, that's one thing Dooi's been doing. Actually, I think I'm yet to see Dooi miss a rail on someone that's going for the heavy armor.
It's that one specific angle where he's down by Mega, they jump up and he can see underneath them. He's hit it 100% of the time. So even though you're still getting the heavy armor, you're essentially getting less for it. Oh wow.
From below.
Yeah, I think that took VDMK by a bit of surprise there.
Still though, you can see VDMK, he has that space now, he has the clock on his side. And again, it's looking like he's looking to keep that distance between.
actually quite like that, sitting in the blood pool, and then when if you get hit by a rail, waiting a couple of seconds while the rail's down, just to get a little bit of free health back. Essentially turning the rail from an 80 damage projectile into, 70.
Oh, really nice shot as well. VDMK just harassing dooi from a distance.
I think there's going to be a lot of this.
So not only is he keeping him at arm's reach, he is keeping him not fully stacked as well. Oh, but he's very low here. Try to keep dooi away. Dooi forced to retreat. Going around the other side.
History is starting to repeat. Huge damage. This is the rail. Surprising. It's another very slow and calculated match.
But this is the pace that VDMK, I mean, when he wins that first fight, gets that first frag on the board. Oh, minutes! But just as I'm saying that, all of that control is undone by a single throw of the Dire Orb.
The comeback mechanic.
I mean, that's it, right? That's one of its strengths.
Oh, that's huge damage on the rocket. I don't quite think VDMK was prepared for it to be in that angle. Had that totem not healed. I mean, if that totem hadn't healed Galena, that would have been a rocket that would have killed too.
But Galena really fits this style well that VDMK is trying to enforce.
Ooh, out of rockets. That's unfortunate.
So very the heavy armor. Gonna have the Dire Orb up again soon. Gonna replenish some of those rockets. But we can see the totem is still back into play now. Oh, a little bit of self-damage. Unfortunately, Ranger doesn't do too much to himself.
Yeah, two spots of it.
Actually, not like VDMK got hit by the Dire Orb impact, I think, there. Oof, ever so slightly missing the shot.
Just before Mega. Would have been quite fortunate if that connected, just to sort of like deal with the Mega a little bit. Make it less impactful, but...
1 minute warning.
But that's it. That's the crucial turning point, the 1 minute warning. At this point, next frag is probably going to take it. The champion on either side right now, Galena or Ranger, not the fastest in the game. Galena especially, but Galena just has that consistency, right? That stability to put down those totems and keep herself alive.
Using those teleporters can be so risky now. With the Galena being in play, like, even if she hasn't put a totem down, she might have done. How do you know if she has or not?
Exactly.
I mean,
just the fact that Galena is in play shuts down the teleporters. Even if she hasn't put a totem there. Just the fact that she might have done it is enough for you to be concerned. Especially when you're approaching sudden death.
Now, well, speaking of sudden death, we are 100% going to go into that last kill situation. 5 seconds on the clock.
Oh, only just going to miss that rail.
He'll happily take the Mega for it, though. VDMK is going to know he's being chased. He would have seen his totem go down. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to call, because I feel like doi's done a fantastic job of just sort of seizing control of the middle of this map. But because VDMK does not need the middle of the map to remain sustained, because of the small pickups around here in combination with the passive of the totems coming back quicker, and the totem themselves
dooi just
healing
hasn't
him.
had the same level of accuracy on these rails as he has before. Oh, and there we go.
He landed eventually. Took him quite a while to get down there, but I mean, that was fantastic, well played. And I actually think that that one in particular matchup with the two champions works quite well for the way VDMK was trying to approach it, because essentially he can happily sit on the sidelines or the outside of the map. Normally the action takes place in the middle because that's where all the valuable pickups are. VDMK, if he's got a rocket launcher and a rail and he's hitting those at distance, he's more than happy to just keep himself topped up with totems instead of those major pickups.
I think this has been a bit of a weird one though for dooi, because his Sorlag is very strong. Like his Sorlag is clearly the best pick for the style of gameplay he wants to enforce on you. The thing is, VDMK Sorlag is also very strong and very good at those 1v1 up-close, point-blank fights. So that initial fight is happening at the start of every round, and dooi needs to win that, but VDMK just completely controls.
I mean, he dedicated everything to that LG and ate a trail of super nails for it. Like, his health got melted.
But he seems to consistently be struggling to take out the Sorlag at the start. To the point that, think back to the final round of Blood Covenant. dooi ended up starting with Anarchy instead, and ended up sweeping very quickly with that Anarchy. But this time, he's gone for Sorlag every time, despite VDMK starting with Sorlag every time as well. So it makes you wonder if dooi should almost adjust what he did last time and start with that Anarchy to try and win that fight.
Oh, nice!
Because right now, he seems to be really struggling to kill VDMK Sorlag with his own, and especially stuff like that. I mean, look how comfortable VDMK is when he is in the lead, hitting crazy shots. Like
This would have been VDMK's map choice, being the loser of the previous map, and you can see why.
He has got all that time on the board to work with, and we know he'll use it.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's going to be Dewey's Ranger, so one of his least mobile characters.
It's not going to be as easy for VDMK to almost play a runaway style game. Or not necessarily runaway style, but like a hide and seek. You know, he did that on Runes of Sanath,
Very
Blood
defensive.
Covenant. But on this map, there's not really as many areas to go to sort of legit just hide from your opponent.
But that's why in itself, it is a skill to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Because considering how fast some of the champions can move, it isn't easy to keep away from your opponent for as long as you have to.
Unfortunately, MK sort of fumbling that little rocket boost that's going to give Dewey that heavy armor instead. I know VDMK is currently ahead, but I don't think he really wants to give Dewey anything to work with. Those mistakes are giving Ranger heavy armor. Ranger he's got nice chunky stats. Champion.
So Dewey here, missing the dark.
Oh
again.
no, and he eats so much damage for that fumbled attempt. That sucks so much.
But that's 2-0. That's actually quite a quick round as well by the standards so far. This has been a very calculated, very slow-paced game between the two of them, but that second round was deceivingly quick, I think. To this point, do you think Dewey can actually make the 3-round comeback? Yeah, again, he's starting with Anarchy this time. That's what we saw beforehand.
It is the adaptation you potentially mentioned. I think you must just realize that this is one of his solutions to dealing with this Sorlag. He's had a hard time dealing with this champion. But at the same time, it's in combination with the fact that VDMK's accuracy has been very, very good.
Especially in this map too. Like, this is something that he just looks next level comfortable on, for sure. For that time though. Wow, that was such a good shot as well.
That was charged too, 90 damage instead of 80.
I think it sort of goes back to what you said, right? Like, it's kind of part reaction, part prediction. You know, putting your rail at a certain area, expecting someone to walk through. So if you're expecting them to be there and you see them, you're more inclined to be ready for the reaction as opposed to catching you off guard and then reacting. I think that's where we're seeing some of these crazy shots come from.
I wonder if he's going to fight this. Nah, no doubt. Dewey's going to try and just get out of there instead. I would have been very surprised to be dedicated to that fight. Oh, but he's directly behind him. He's just looped around him super quickly. Took a lot of damage. I mean, he's got the heavy armor, but he's so weak.
He's going to sit here and top himself back up to full health again. Oh, hang on a minute. No, it doesn't have the chance.
Oh, he walks into a direct! Both players unbelievably low. Oh, unfortunately, isn't able to land a single speck of the acid. Now, Dewey.
But this is a much better start for him, though. Getting that Sorlag away from VDMK is huge. Because that has been such a star performer for VDMK, I think. It really has enabled him to enforce this style that he's been looking for, I think. Considering you're having that amount of health, having that speed, it means that you're not going to get immediately burst down. If someone does try and fight you and force a fight, you have that defensive mechanism in that giant damage. I mean, just as fast as I can say that, another frag on the board for Dewey.
I mean, the rockets from both of these players has been insane. Maybe not that one, but the rockets from both of these players.
As a general point.
I mean,
the dire orb is gone.
He's lost the dire orb and he's taken a chunk of damage. I mean, he's going to be able to heal himself up a little bit, but I feel like the real difference is being made by Dewey's Anarchy. It's just his movement and his confidence with... He doesn't seem to really be afraid of being point blank, where normally, you know, if you're Anarchy, being point blank is a huge risk. You eat one single direct and you risk just getting deleted. But Dewey doesn't really seem to care too much about that.
Well, the dire orb is down again. Does Dewey go in? He has to be careful. He is walking at someone with a rocket launcher. And just even though he doesn't have the ability, he does still have that natural aim. And VDMK has been so on point with hitting all of these shots.
Oh, you can actually just see Dewey. He's chasing it down. Is it going to be enough?
But that was a direct. He's in trouble now, though.
All he gets is the ticking damage. He doesn't get anything substantial. One rail or LG, and he's going to go down. I think Dewey needs to be super careful staying around there.
I say Dewey took a lot of damage in that, considering he started that fight.
Huge damage! This is likely to get either chased or VDMK is just going to keep him behind. The problem is, with the champion advantage, he needs to make something happen. Oh no! Misses the rail!
Ever so slightly misses too, though. Narrowly by the
I'm pretty sure that would have been a dead Sorlag. Here we go. He finishes what he started. Catches him on the jump pad. I mean, that's the way no one wants to go down.
Oh, well, the rest of the round is going to be mano a mano, Ranger versus Ranger. It's like the good old days.
That Quake 1 match.
Oh, big damage coming through from that Dire Orb.
The patience with the gauntlet actually landing directly on it. I mean, that was good positioning too. I mean, if he was off by an angle, he might have got telefragged.
He was able to get the armor, but look at how little health he has left too. But Dooi isn't chasing in a lot of situations he normally would. I think there it was probably an equipment thing. It looked like he only really had a machine gun.
Oh,
but still.
Oh dear. Dooi's very weak.
He's hesitating in a lot of situations he normally wouldn't. I mean, I think he's just being careful. He doesn't want to lose the. He loses the round, he loses the map. You know,
but that's it, right? I mean, like if you dedicate to a fight and it doesn't go well now, you're going to give up the entire map. But if he wins this round, it's 2-1. That could totally be a comeback. The change to Anarchy first, not losing his Sorlag straight away to another Sorlag, it's made a big difference, and it made a big difference in the last map as well. That hot 1 rocket.
Yes, indeed. That crispy 1 damage, singular digit. Oh, trying to hit him on the way around.
Oh, what hit! Oh my days. I mean, that was essentially like what you tried to do, I immediately did to you within the blink of an eye. That was pretty good.
That was a good turnaround, but that also means we're going to go down to a map number 3.
This has been a long, hard-fought series.
I think it goes back to what we said before, right? Stamina and endurance. This is really going to test the mettle of both of these guys, because like you said, this is one of the longest series I've had today. Whether it's one of the longest they've played, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But regardless, a third map where most of them have been going down to a timeout, and that means that our third map choice,
wasting no time,
no hesitation from Dooi, is going to be Corrupted Keep. And I think there's a very glaring, obvious reason why Dooi selected that.
We've seen Dooi on Corrupted Keep before, and I mean, you can tell why he picks Corrupted Keep, basically. It's, you know, for many of the same reasons, Corrupted Keep is such a dangerous map anyway, especially with the lineup of champions that we see people use, the aggressive play that we know the players themselves like to adapt. But I feel like that entire map was just a level of comfort and control that VDMK had a good bearing on. When he had Galena, as long as he had a rail and a rocket, he was able to sort of do damage from distance, and he actually at no point needed to step a foot into the middle of the map, which normally is one of the riskiest places to be, especially if you don't have control over those 2 power-ups, or pickups is the right term, obviously. But the fact that he had the totem, he was able to, even if he didn't need to use it aggressively, he was able to sit on the sidelines and just stay topped up without needing to put himself in harm's way. And the second he got enough damage to go, right, I can now dedicate and go for the kill here, that was all he needed to go in. And that was just one of the many rounds. And then, obviously, when he had those really good starts with the Sorlag, and he was able to sort of establish control really early because he eliminated Sorlag from play really early, we did see the adaptation of going Anarchy first. Currently, going Anarchy first is helping Dooi so much more. So, in Corrupted Keep, I would be kind of surprised if we didn't see him go Anarchy straight away as his first pick for the first round, to at least just see if he can keep that start going better, because Anarchy as a start has been better than the previous maps.
It seemed to be the biggest adjustment that he made that actually made a big impact on the match itself. But we're just a few moments away now from going into Champion Select, so we'll find out very soon who they're going to be locking in for their roster for this final map in this series. Remember, this is winner-side North American qualifiers. The winner will make it to Dreamhack Winter for that American representation. But it looks like they're going to be going back to, so yep, VDMK going to Nyx instead of the Galena. And it looks like Dooi going with the tried and true 3 once again. So not a huge surprise to see Dooi stick with his guns. Nyx instead of Galena for VDMK. So again, looking good. This will be the third and final map of the series now. Corrupted Keep. Things are about to get a lot more up close and personal, I think.
It's a stressful map to play. You've got 3 rounds, and that's all you've got that could potentially send you to Dreamhack. This is winner's bracket, though. So these are 2 players that have been doing fantastically well in the tournament so far. So if they lose, they're not out, but you said it yourself earlier, right? Mental fortitude and stamina. These guys have been playing for a long time already. So you know, even the stream itself, like today's stream, the tournament has been starting more, I think more so in EU than NA, but the tournaments were starting before the stream even went live. They've been playing a lot of matches of Quake. And even though it feels like a marathon just watching a series like this is one of many that the players have been playing. And for the player that loses this, it's not over. They have to win 1 more versus a loser that has been climbing all the way up the ranks in the lower bracket.
But looks like the warm-up phase has just finished. We're getting into this third and final map in the series between Maestro Dooi and VDMK. They're both tied up at 1 map apiece. first to win the 3 rounds here to qualify themselves. Dreamhack Winter.
But I mean, Dooi has already qualified for Dreamhack Denver, so I think qualifying for both Dreamhacks through pure qualification would be a great confidence boost.
Oh,
obviously
100%.
doing the Maestro boys proud as well.
Oh yeah, of course. Recently picked up, showing that that pickup was a good choice, a good idea. But it looks like they're going to be starting with Sorlag versus Sorlag again, as I said before. And it actually looks like Dewey's going to get the best of this one this time. Dewey has been consistently losing that 1v1 versus Sorlag at the start, but this time... Oh, hang on a minute! The instant turnaround thanks to the dire orb.
I mean, sometimes you ask, why do they go for it so often? It's never working. Because the one time it works, I mean, that's it. The tide has turned to the prediction rocket on Dewey being a little bit too predictable through that teleporter. And he eats a rocket for his troubles. There's some confident play coming through VDMK right now. I mean, that was a good read on the teleporter. The confidence to execute that dire orb telefrag as well.
But also the fact that we're a minute in, and considering this has been the longest series of the day, a minute in and half the champions are dead already. That is Corrupted Keep. I think that really is the interesting dynamic this map offers, that it's almost always aggressive.
I mean, it's such a small map. Sometimes you have no choice. Dewey's in trouble, going in for the just the regular SMG. No reason not to, really.
I just don't think he really had access to much else there.
And, I mean, you see that one frag and he had a decent amount of health, decent amount of armor, was ready to press the advantage, and bam, telefrag. Momentum shifted.
1 round already on the board for VDMK, though. There's always a chance that Dewey, I mean, he didn't really waste too much time. It was straight into Corrupted Keep, so you think maybe he thought that VDMK wasn't going to be ready for this aggressive style, but VDMK looks very much happy to play this if he has to.
You know, back during the clutch meta of Quake Champions on this map, where the clutch players would pick Corrupted Keep and go Rocket Launcher, the Rocket Launcher was the start he needed. I feel like it's the Sorlag meta on Corrupted Keep, but LG is the start that you need. It's the same kind of thing, you know, where it's that one weapon is all you need for a fantastic beginning.
Really good start for VDMK, though.
He has been able to force him away from this heavy. So combined with his base health, I mean, the heavy armor is going to be way better for the fight, but he goes full speed ahead straight into every single acid spit.
Well, that's the danger of getting up close and personal with Sorlag. Might get more than you bargained for.
Oh! Almost got it again.
That would have been such a good kill as well, considering how long range that one was from, too.
I mean, that's the kind of... Plays like that, they just give you a confidence boost that you just also need. Oh, none of those nails connected, actually, sort of threading the needle.
It's unfortunate for VDMK.
Oh, War tries to get it again. But, I mean, even if he fails the telefrag, he does so much damage and they're going to trade. But as long as you've got the champion lead, a trade is always going to be in, well, the leader's favor.
Still, no rocket launcher there for VDMK. It's going to be back soon, but we're going to try and stop him. He did just pick one up. Did a lot of damage by itself, too.
That's always the worry when you fight Ranger. Even if he misses the telefrag, the dire orb hurts you anyway. Ooh. I'm feeling,
using it aggressively is doing ready. No, he missed the rocket. Unfortunately, VDMK, though, doesn't have Ghost Walk for a while now.
I feel like one of the ways, when Dewey is in the lead with Anarchy, and he has control, I feel like his approach, it's going to clean that frag right up, but I feel like his approach is...
with 1 health as well.
Yeah.
1 HP survival. Wow.
But I feel like Dewey's approach in this game, when he is in the lead with Anarchy, is I'm going to control the map, and I'm going to just patrol and make sure I'm on top of my weapons, I'm on top of the items, and I'm on top of the health and the armor. If I just so happen to bump into you, I'll probably try and kill you, but if it doesn't work out, I'll just escape anyway. And the trade comes out. Now, we'll see who's left. Both Sorlags are gone. Oh, no rocket launcher for you!
Wow. Almost got the telefrag there again. That would have been an interesting way to start off this round for sure, but not quite there, unfortunately. But there's the actual jump pad. He's going to die for this. Yes, he will. Dewey already has taken down 2 of the 3 champions from VDMK. 30 seconds into this round, no less.
I mean, it's immensely back and forth. And where's the prediction? Where did he expect him to go? Is he going to cut him off and deny the rocket? Is indeed. Huge damage on the rocket too. I mean, 60 basically is a very respectable amount against the Knicks.
Oh, but missed a couple of rockets there. And that's a very healthy VDMK as well. Like, he actually didn't do much of any damage at all before dying.
And now it's 1 versus 1. I mean,
be down though.
Back and forth. This has been an insanely back and forth set so far. It's been a quick map too. I mean, whoever wins this map is going to be on match point, and it's in the blink of an eye. We've already had 2 rounds already.
As is the way of Crook to keep missing the dire orb, though. Dooi put in a bad position now.
Now, if he dedicates to this fight, it's very risky. One just wayward high damage rocket, and this Nyx is gone.
So at the same time, Ranger without a dire orb. If he gets caught in a bad situation here, Lightning Gun could chew up that health he has left.
The ace in the hole, though, is going to be the fact that the dire orb comes back in pretty much double the time.
Half the time, you mean?
Of course.
20 seconds. That 80-second cooldown. Still, though, that one-on-one final now. He's really trying to find the opportunity to take, but it seems quite difficult. See both the dire orb and Ghost Walker back up.
Well, we've seen a huge amount of confidence come out of both of these players today, but I mean, these are the final rounds. I mean, this is their chance for qualification, so are they likely to follow through with these decisions, or are they likely to potentially second-guess them, you know? I mean, the start of the round has been immensely quick, but to be honest, I mean, as it's been progressing, it's been somewhat slowing down, but not with this fight. It's going to go in the favor of VDMK. Match point. One more round.
I'm not going to lie, I kind of expected all 3 maps to go down to the absolute wire in terms of like match length and round length, considering how it's been played before. But I love this adaptation for VDMK because, like I said, right, he has a game plan he wants to enforce, but he's not restricted to just that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Lord, what a shot.
I mean, his rockets from start to finish have been such a huge factor in coming off better in these fights. Before the fight even happens, if he's hitting 100 damage rockets, I mean, that is a huge chunk of life that you wish you still had. It's almost like these rockets are doing the job of the rail that he would be doing in previous maps.
Indeed. But the Mega Health's going to be up soon. Back to this one. I mean, this is such a crucial round for Dooi. He cannot afford to make any mistakes, especially going back to that Sorlag start. That first round he won, second round traded out with Suicide at the same time.
He's not had the most amazing track record against VDMK when they've had this mirror match.
I mean, VDMK just looks a lot more comfortable in it. There's no real getting around it.
We can see the traps being laid by Dooi, but I think another 100 damage. And he's following it through with the LG as well. And he's just taken Mega. This is going to be so hard for Dooi to survive from. Even if he gets the heavy, he's getting beat to it. And he finishes it with another high damage rocket. That is one of the best starts VDMK could have asked for. Now the momentum is all his.
Man, now this is everything he needs. He's stacked up fully. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to have to dire orb just to get out of this.
And that's why VDMK is actually keeping a bit of distance. I think he's actually trying to make sure that if he teleports to a dire orb, VDMK can still chase that down. I mean, he's just baiting him to activate it. Is Dooi actually going to go for the telefrag? Does he try and dedicate? Especially now he's collected Mega. If VDMK is able to take this heavy, which he has been able to do, this has just become a massive ask for Dooi to make this comeback against such a stacked champion as the one he's facing right now.
He's like locked and loaded. He's got all the weapons he needs. He's got Acid Spit. He's got full health. He's got full armor. Both stacked over capacity. This is worst case scenario for Dooi to try and get this back. However, one thing that will kill any of this in one go is a dire orb. The problem is Dooi hasn't been very consistent in landing them.
He has been going for them though. The thing is, this could be the final dire orb he lands. When it's all or nothing, when it's set or no set, does he go for it?
Well, he has gone for the Ranger. There's a reason for that. You can see VDMK is content sitting back at this range, just picking up all these pickups as he can. Just trying to not to quit too much. He is in the lead, and he can stall for 2.5 minutes if he wants to win that way. It's unlikely, but we could see it.
He's shown us previously that he is more than happy to just play defensive, play that dry game. If that dry game's going to send you to Dreamhack, you bet he's going to do it. But at this stage, he doesn't even need to. He could even take a direct and still survive and be happy.
He's in a lot of trouble now.
I think he's content there. Instead of taking the frag, just keeping Dooi behind. You know, just go for the heavy armor. When you are likely to encounter him again, you still have more stack. You've still got your Acid Spit, plenty of ammo.
However, though, Dewey's surviving. I mean, VDMK, it's almost like he's guarding these resources to get Dewey back into the game. He's not letting him get the armor.
Oh, dearie me. That was so much damage in a short space of time. The telefrag, I mean, I respect the attempt, but it wasn't going to work out right there, unfortunately.
Direct rocket and some direct acid. That is going to do a lot of damage.
Oh, he's been headed off. He just needs one good direct, and he's going to get it. Goes in for the injection. It's going to be now or never for him to take this win. VDMK tries to get out of there, but I mean, you can see Dewey, he's going in for the chase. He has no choice. He has to go for this.
Time is against him. He has 1 minute and 10 seconds left to just kill 2 champions just to tie up the round. Even then, this is match point. VDMK, Dewey just needs to win the round just to even things out.
But I do love how VDMK, you know, he was sort of sticking, in that one instance, he was really sticking to close quarters. If Dewey was going to chase, he had to go in the one part of the map he would not want to fight Sorlag, but he would have had to if he wanted to dedicate to it. Caught in midair, taking huge damage from the LG. I mean, this is not a fight Dewey can take. He's going to have to back out and try one more time, but...
Thing is, though, we have to remember, even if VDMK loses Sorlag, he might not even at this point. No, he won't. He won't even lose the champion, and that is going to be it. VDMK, with a commanding pace of that final map, is able to take it over Dewey and qualify himself for Dreamhack Winter. We'll be seeing him again soon. Congratulations. Have a nice time and good luck playing for all that money for Duel.
I mean, that's not going to be a bad day of playing Quake for 150k. And now he's got a shot at that with the rest of the best Quake players in the world that have been invited, that will be lying in wait, you know, for the rest of the competition. And VDMK will be part of that competition now. So congratulations to him. Dewey, he's got this far. He's still in the tournament. He's got one last chance, which lies in the loser's bracket. Essentially, the loser's bracket final between whichever opponent will make it through the loser's bracket. I believe that match is still yet to be decided, so that's not ready just yet. But our last EU match to determine our second EU qualifier